Hey, greetings, Ronits. I'm Interrogator Sardiwas, Attaching Lady Credo Markham of the Order of Heticus, and welcome to Look at Human Paintings. I'm coming at you live from the grim dark future, currently broadcasting from the high world of Virago. The theme for the stream is Chords and Lament Hope by the Venerable Lydius Adam Bell. We also have music from One Foot K Mechanicus, composed by Guillaume David and the Bower Studios, and music from 140 K Dark Tower, composed by Jasper King in the copyright of Fat Shark Games. All the music provided to us by ende.app at pixabay.com. And today we're continuing to paint my commission miniature, which is the Astropath. She is a kitbash of a Primaris Psyker, a cultist, and the one of the leaders from Necromunda's gangs. I forget what, I think her name is Lady Credo. So yeah, and a little bit of green stuff on there. And we already have somebody in the chat saying, ahoy, Rosario. How you doing, Stratus? How you been? Doing good? What you been up to? Hope you like how Corsaro came out. But yeah, today we're doing a commission job. Hopefully we can finish this guy today. And then we'll move on to the miniature that was given to me by Quest Wagon. And I look forward to painting that one. I will show you guys which miniature a little closer down the line once we started working on this mini. Alright, so on this miniature, we still have a bit left to do. We've already done her dress, her corset, her purity seals, her pants, most of her boots, and definitely her gloves. We've done the staff, and I even did some edge highlighting on the staff. And work on is the rest of her hair and the fur on her back, and some edge highlighting on the metallic parts of her boots. And Strata says, working more nowadays, definitely splicing some cool sword bros. Recording my first clip as a VTuber. Oh, nice. I look forward to seeing what you do. What kind of content will you be streaming? So, I guess I'll start off with some edge highlighting. Well, before I start with edge highlighting, I still have some metallic bits back here that I gotta work on. So let's start with regular metal, and then we'll work on the edge highlights for the metallics. So we're gonna work with our good old lead belcher. Y Necronomicon, viniendo a la transmisión. ¿Cómo estás, Necronomicon? Necronomicon is here, and I don't quite know what all these little emojis are. Got a squid one, we got a glitch cat, and a squid 4. So the glitch cat looks pretty cool. So like I said, we're going to work on some of the metallics here. If you look at her hand, she's actually has some metal parts on her hand. So we're going to work on that so she can actually harness her psychic ability. Or her psyker ability, should I say. And let me get some a napkin so I can clean the brush. Necronomicon dijo, hoy puse alarma para llegar temprano. Ah, qué chévere. Me alegra que esté aquí. Necronomicon said, today I put an alarm so I can get here early. And oh, that's great. I'm happy you're here. Let me make sure that it's on camera. And like I said, we're going to be working on the little metal partier. Want to be very careful. Very, very, very careful. And again, sorry for all the sniffles. Still dealing with my bout with Neurocultus. 70 Rose says, "Hi Rosario and everyone else. How's everybody doing today? How was your weekend?" It's been great. How you doing, 70 Rose? Been very busy. Finally working on this commission. Hoping I can finish it today. While Corsaro Khan came out. Also, the lovely Varlet who said Nico Khan is here in the audience. Take a bow, Stratus. Oh, and I missed Stratus' message earlier saying, gaming mainly, still trying to get used to talking to myself. Lol, yeah, that something is a little weird. And he did say Corsaro turned out great. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I definitely wanted to do him justice, especially since he was a gift. And we have the God Emperor man saying, "Greetings, how you doing, God Emperor? How is the Astronomicon holding up? You haven't had any bouts with the Grey Knights?" And the God Emperor man says, "Nah, all is calm in the throne room." Oh, happy to hear it. Just realized this is not quite turning out well. There we go. And most of the time, whenever you're doing these kind of very fine details, what I do is I'll paint it with the flat of the brush. And there we have those metallic bits on the glove. Yeah, from what I understand, this commission is meant for a kill team that the commissioner is trying to put together of the Inquisition. I think he wants to make it a sort of a kitbash of all the characters from that new Faith and Zeal kill team. I forget what they're called. but the ones with the priest and all the rabbles. Which is actually a very cool kill team. And now we're gonna paint that tube as well. We're gonna make that tube metallic also. But we're not gonna use this brush. It's a little too fine to work on that. So we're gonna get a bigger brush. Here, while I'm at it, let me see if I can pull up the model I'll be working on for next week. Alright, let me see if I can pull up my internet here so you guys can see. Alright, there we go. It's a little too small. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. And let's hit play. So yeah, it's the model I'll be working on next week. It's a Tribal Elf Queen by Quest Wagon Miniatures. So I guess she's kind of like an Exodite. She looks very cool. Very nicely detailed. I'm looking forward to painting her. I'll definitely be painting her in the same colors that Quest Wagon chose. Yeah, there he is. A very nice model. Yeah, we have the Inquisitor Callan himself saying, "Greetings, Interrogator. How have you been?" "I've been good, my Lord Inquisitor. How have you been?" Milady Inquisitor Markham sends her regards, as per usual. She is hoping that one day you'll be able to sit down together and work on some sit down and enjoy a bottle of Amasek. And Stratus says, "Very cool indeed." And Sunny Rose says her hair is cool. And Necronomicon has little emoji. Alright, so I'm gonna put away the quintuple zero Marie. And let's get the size 2 grabby. Oh, I don't want to break that. Let's pull up my camera just so I can see. Here we go. So if you want to get yourself a cool Exodite Eldar model, definitely get yourself that tribal elf queen. Probably works good as a Farseer. And Lord Quither says tonally that I send mine to her, and about the Amasek is to talk about business, correct? Yes, it is. Lady Inquisitor Malcolm is always about business. And Night Lord Supreme of Cheese says, what is up, party people? How you doing, Night Lord Supreme? The cheesiest himself. How you been? Been a while. What you been up to? Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, we can actually start doing some edge highlighting on the model. So we're going to be using our Stormhorse Silver, and again with the quintuple zero Marie. Nightlord says, I've been good. I'm sorry it's been so long. Work and life have kept me from popping by, lol. Hey, no worries, I understand. Yes, I'm glad you're doing well. Hopefully work is treating you well. And then he's asking how it's been for y'all. I've been good, you know. Just finished Corsair Con last week. Moved into a new location. Very happy with the new dates. And I now have 2 monitors up, so I'm very happy with this new setup. And I'm hoping it'll lead to much higher quality streams. And Night Lord says, upgrades, people, upgrades, let's go, yeah. And it's all thanks to you wonderful viewers. Alright, I'm gonna start working on the little details here on this boot. The first part of it was a little slow and not all that interesting. But once the second part of the story kicked off, it started getting interesting again. I don't think it's better than season 1 so far, but at least things are getting better. Any of you Vaudits get to go to Nova Open this year? I wanted to go, but unfortunately, things did not pan out that way. Teddy Rose says, my Twitch keeps freezing. Anyone else having problem, or is it just my electronics? Well, I hope it's just your electronics, and I hope it's not an issue with mine. Let me know if it's coming in choppy for all of you as well. Attorney Rose says it might just be my iPad. Just logged in on my phone and things seem to be working. Okay, that's good. But I'm glad you're able to watch it at least. And Sonny Rose says, oh yes, so like missing your paintings or something. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Hope I never disappoint. Okay, and let's see. How are we looking with this? Okay. Think we're done there. Let's go ahead and start painting the purity seal here on her hip. And for that, we'll go with the standard red. How to get my hydration on. So we'll start with corn red. And we're going to stick with quintuple zero Marie. This is the tiny thing we're painting. We don't have to worry too much about switching to a bigger brush. We have a nice pop of red there amongst all that blue and green. Hey, Lord Inquisitor Callahan says, well, I'm still going to be lurking. Go get something to eat. Be right back. Well, hey, buen provecho. Enjoy your meal. Buen provecho, bon appetit, buen appetito. Me shiagare. Enjoy what floats your boat. Alright. Now we're gonna get some Evil Sun Scarlet. And we're just gonna be touching around the rim. And with some slight details of the setter. There we go. Looking a lot more colorful. But we're gonna do one last pop of color. So we're not gonna stop there. I have that was DACA red around here. There we go, was DACA red. That's just gonna be for some extreme highlights. Not all that noticeable. Maybe I'm just not painting on well enough. It might not be all that noticeable. Might have to pick a different color. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick a different color. It's not all that noticeable. I guess we're gonna go with a little bit more of an orange color. I'm gonna go with Jokairo orange. What I originally was planning, but I thought I could get away with a little red. I was wrong. Here we go. Now we got that nice pop of orange there. Everything nice and neat. And we're done with red for this model. Now I can get rid of all the reds that I have on the table. And now, let's go on to the fur. And I'm thinking we're gonna use the tube, but let me just double check that I have a better brush for this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with this too. Yeah, let's stick with this too. Alright, so what we're gonna do is gonna get the Cantor blue and we're gonna really water it down. Really water it down. Because we want to have this fur kind of be on the blue range. That's how the client wants it. Very similar to what we did with the boots and the gloves. Give it that dark, dark blue. Almost gray blue. We don't want it falling onto the recesses, so we want to make sure that it's only pulling at the top. Might have to do another pass at it. And now we're getting that nice kind of dark blue coloring to the fur. Okay, we have that there. It's nice and covered. I see we have a good shader that can work with this. Because if not, I'm going straight into some dry brushing. I think I have that Drakenhoff something or another. I forget what it's called. Here we go. Drakenhoff Nightshade. I've never actually used it, but I might as well use it. Give it some edge highlight. I mean, not some edge highlight, some shading. I might have to put some more on there after having done so, but at least we'll get some nice contrast. Or at least some nice value changes, should I say, not contrast. I'm just trying to stick it into the areas where I think it would pull in the most. Alright. And now let's work in some of that Kentor blue in again. Get that really watered down, almost watercolor. And again, just try to go over some of the top, not everything. Okay, and now we have some nice definition there. Very much an odd blue furred animal. Man, it's something out of trying to remember what that Nocturne. There we go. Is it Nocturne? Where's Conrad Curse from? Nostromo, or yeah, I think it's Nostromo. Because Nocturne is where Vulcan's from. Alright, now we're gonna do some dry brushing. And where is that? We're gonna go with the Fang. Nothing too dark. We don't wanna... Oh, nothing too bright. We don't wanna necessarily overshadow that blue. Where is my dry brush? There it is. We're again going to try to get it just a light. Wait, that thing is looking a little too frayed. Hold on, let me fix this. Alright, just get a slight dab. Use this paper here to sponge off a lot of the paint. I don't think it's showing all that much. Or maybe it is a little too dark. Alright, yeah, it's showing a little bit. But it is a little too dark, so it's not making much of a difference. So we're gonna have to switch up the paint. Maybe something a little bit brighter. Let's go with... what was that? The Fang? Maybe we can go with Fabrizian Grey? Left Fabrizian Grey around. There we go, Fabrizian Grey. Alright, right now just cleaning the brush, getting all that, the fang off of there, well, as much as I can anyway. Okay. We're gonna have to go with a little bit more extreme. Hopefully it'll show, but may not too badly. Again, we're gonna be very careful, just a light dab on there. Okay, I think that should be enough. Alright, and we're not just gonna leave it there. We're gonna actually do some slight hairs on the fur with the Fenrisian Gray to make it look like it's actually hair or fur in this case. Very similar to how I did my the fur on my dwarf. What was he? He was a navigator, if I'm not mistaken. Etheric Navigator. I think that's what they're called. Yeah. So yeah, let's get that Quintuple Zero Marie. And we're gonna stick with the Fenrisian Gray. Start painting on some hair. I see how we're already getting that nice variation in tone. It's looking definitely more like hair. Necronomicon says I have to go keep up the great job. Thank you very much, Necronomicon. Cuídate, ¿ok? Nos vemos por ahí. And there we go. We have this strange but very nice bluish fur. Let me see if I can get the tips here. There we go. Now all that's left is her hair. And I think I'm going to use that one same shader that I used earlier, the Drakenhof Nightshade. I'm going to add that to her hair. We're going to use the size 2 grabby. Because it's kind of a wig, I want to make sure that it doesn't look quite like regular human hair. So I want this to have this kind of artificial, kind of a look to it. So a bluish hue to the hair. And right now, I'm not worried about what I'm hitting. We haven't touched any of the metallic parts in her hair yet, because she does have quite a lot of ornamentation in her hair. And just adding this Drakenhof Nightshade, you could already see all the details in her hair. And she also has this little like fleck of hair on her bust. We're definitely gonna fix that. Alright. Okay, I want Parmesan Gray. Where is my Gracier? Here we go, Gracier. And my Corax White, which I may interchange with my Ceramite White. I can't remember which one is the one that works and doesn't. But both of these whites are kind of screwy. But like I say, we'll start with Parmesan Gray. And this will all be with 00 Marie. We're gonna do the hair before we do any of the ornamentation. Again, there's a lot of metal on her head, but that's gonna go last. The more I look at this, the more I think this might be a twofer. I don't think I'll be done today. But let's hope we can. But again, we're not gonna rush things. We want this mini to look great. This is a commission after all. And 70 Rose is saying it's definitely looking great so far. Ah, thank you, 70 Rose. I hope the client likes it too. I think what I'm most proud of this one is definitely the dress. That was the hardest part to get right, but once I got it right, it's been looking really good.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen.
I feel like this hair will definitely be the hardest part of the month. Okay, I think we've covered that hair with all that Parisian gray. Let me just... Yeah, there's a tiny bit there on the cheek area that I need to get. Lord Inquisitor Callahan says the wife, kids, and I watched the 1988 Soviet Union Treasure Island yesterday. The kids found it funny, while the wife found it uniquely interesting how the Soviets found a way to teach the kids that dangers of smoking and drinking is bad for your health, while also telling them to go outside and play and work out, all wrapped up in a cartoon. To clarify, this was yesterday. Okay, it sounds like a very wholesome movie. It kind of reminds you a little bit what they teach in Pinocchio, the original Disney one, where the kid who was smoking and drinking turned into a donkey. Alright. We're done with that from Reason Gray. Now let's try to get some of that gray sear on the model. Okay, now I want to cover a little less area. Lord Inquisitor Callahan says they played on SST, Soviet State Television, not gonna be found on YouTube. Was it animated? Was it live action? Alright, you can see we're getting some nice tone variation in the hair. And now I think it's time to start adding the extreme white. Lord Callahan said mostly animated, but has some live action moments, except for the singing part, which is live action with people dressed as pirates. Okay. We'll check it out. Alright. I think the one I normally use is Ceramite White, but I just want to check out my Corax White to see how it's looking. Yeah, it's looking as disgusting as ever. Look at that, that's supposed to be white. How that is white, I have no idea. Gets tossed that away. Let's go to Ceramite White. Alright, I think we've shaken this hermite wide enough. And always gotta be careful with this one, because this one is extremely watered down. I put too much water in there in order to try to make it white again. That's supposed to be like that Corax white that wasn't working at all. Like we always do, we gradually cover less and less ground, the lighter color we get. We have J-Ray saying hi. How you doing, J-Ray? How you been? What you been up to? J-Ray says just chilling. Oh, happy to hear it. You working on anything? J-Ray says about a Brazen Bull proxy for Trish Crusade, but I haven't touched it yet. Ooh, nice. Is that the army going to be working on? At least for, well, I guess it's more of a war band, because Trish Crusade has more war bands than armies. You know, work on, what are they called? The Janissaries? There. Alright, I think we are done with the hair. And once we get all those metallics looking good, we'll be able to tell the hair from the metallic parts. But let's go ahead and start working on that. Got about 20 more minutes, we can at least get all that metallic in there. Jerry says, Loya, the Irish Sultan. Yeah, that's the name, the Irish Sultan. I knew it wasn't the Janissaries. The Janissaries were their base units. I do House of Wisdom with 3 Lias. My brother hates it, lol. Why does he hate it? Because is it too OP? And what does your brother play? Alright, let's see we could start working on it.
Accende lumen sensibus in funda morem cordibus, infirma nostri corporis virtute firmans perpeti. Postem repellas longus, pacemque dones propimus, ductores icte praedio.
Hopefully this will all be visible. I feel like maybe metallic on white is going to be all that visible.
Deo Patris et Gloria, et Filio quia mortuis surrexit, ac Paraclito in seculorum saecula. Amen.
J-Ray says lots of movement and damage reduction because lions are artificial. My brother's trying to figure out New Antioch. Okay. I haven't quite figured out what army I'd want to play as in that game, if I were to play it. I feel like I'm kind of waiting for the Native American, or at least the Aztec minis when they come in. Definitely something from the Americas. I thought about using that Torquemasa's Inquisition, the one that Daka Daka made, but I just couldn't get into it. Though I do want to use them for my own army for Warhammer. I don't feel them for Drink Crusade. got a lot of little spike ringlets around her hair. Alright, I think that might be all the metal. Yeah, I feel like that metallic is gonna make it harder to see. Hopefully his idea of it making darker actually works out. As he wants a dark iron on that. So far, I don't think it's quite visible. Hopefully once I add the, I forget what it's called, I think it's ballistic or ballistica something. Oh yeah, Ballisticanum Gray. Once I add this, hopefully it'll start looking a little bit, well, it'll be a little easier to view. Alright, now the tricky part is making sure it doesn't get in the hair.
Glory be to the Father,
Trying to add contrast paint on this.
to the Holy
Really fine detail. Not easy.
Spirit, is now and ever shall be, world without end.
Yeah, because Basilicanum Gray is a contrast.
Domine Deus meus, in pane tecum donum defectum meum, adua
Dayray says my pot of that dried on me like 6 months ago. Stopped buying pots from then on. I think I've had this pot for a little over 6 months. I feel like whenever dealing with these paint bottles of Weimar 40K, aka the Citadel paints, sometimes they keep well, sometimes they don't. I guess it's a little bit more visible. You're gonna have to be very sparing with the edge highlighting on this one. And then we got Perky Saurus saying painting is a shady business for our first time chat. How you doing, Perky Saurus? Welcome to Look at Human Painting Minis. My name is Osayo Rios, and I'm the Attaché Lady Inquisitor Markham of the Order Hereticus. And I'm currently painting this commission for a client, one of our lovely varlets. And it's of a Astropath for his inquisitorial kill team that he's putting together. How'd you find us? How'd you come across my channel? And then Perkysaurus says, random twitchy things. Well, I'm glad you came. Did you like painting miniatures or Warhammer or anything like that? What drew your attention? And if you do like Warhammer, do you have a favorite army? Yeah, you got. Perky says, yeah, I do play a lot of 40k. Nice. What do you play? I personally don't play a lot of 40k. I mostly just paint minis. But I have played once or twice. Hey, Perky says, I like Imperial Guard a lot since I have a boatload of metal IG. Ooh, nice. How do you play them? Are they Cadians? Are they Kriegsmen? Are they Steel Legion, Vestroyan, or any other official one? Or are they your own like homebrew? Berkey says, with Stroyans, I have around 250 of them, plus 2,000 heavy weapons. Oh, nice. I love the Vestroyan. I love that sort of Cossack look. He says they weigh like 34 pounds. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Especially if they're metal models. I have seen some of those metallic Vestroyans. Yeah, they're pretty neat. I actually painted a kitbash today. Somebody commissioned me to do. And there we have it. I think, at least for now, that'll do. We still have to edge highlight a lot of this metallic. We have to paint the lenses on those little... you see at the top of her head as a couple of like, what look like lenses or optic eyes. Yeah, and we still have to paint the base. As well as her... She's got a little bow right there. We gotta paint that too. And we gotta paint in the same color as her face veil. But yeah, we are definitely gonna be done with her by next week. And then we'll get started on that one model that I said that was a gift from Quest Wagon, which is the Elf Tribal Queen. But yeah, thank you all very much for coming today. I hope you had a good time. I hope you were able to knock out some of your own gray pile of shame. Let's see who we can raid today. And Perkysaurus just followed. Thank you very much for the follow, Perkysaurus. We'll be, again, painting here from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. EST next week. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But if you like what I do, like support, please consider subscribing to my Twitch channel or donate to my Ko-Fi at Rosario's Art. Or an episode, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which is also called Rosario's Art. And in my YouTube channel, I also publish my own opinion piece, which I like to call Rosario Rants. So go ahead and check those out. I work really hard on those, so I will appreciate the view. But let's see who we can raid for today. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and raid, well, I'm gonna try to raid our Relay Temperance. Usually, she doesn't allow raids, but let's see. Oh, nope, she didn't allow it. So I guess we're gonna raid somebody else. Alright, so we'll raid Zombie Pandemic. She is a VTuber who plays video games. She's currently playing Elden Ring, so it should be a lot of fun to watch. Now let's see if we can click the raid on that. Okay, yeah, the raid is happening. But yeah, again, thank you all very much for coming. It's always a pleasure to stream with you guys. I hope you had a great time. And yeah, so I been Rosario US at that same Lady Credo of the Order Hereticus, and it's been Looking Bang Minis. Bye bye, Varus, and have a good night. See you, Saudi Rose. See you, Lord Callahan. See you, Percusaurus. Thank you for coming. Then thank you, everybody else. Stratus, Necronomicon. All you have been great. Bye-bye, varlets.